Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A disturbing discovery at a Mitchell truck stop along Interstate 90 led to a multi-state investigation. The dismembered body of 57-year-old Melody Gooch of Detroit, Michigan was found late Monday night by a customer.
This investigation was a multi-agency effort, and without that multi-agency cooperation, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Authorities arrested 60-year-old Anthony Davis in Washington state yesterday. He's charged with second-degree murder and burying a body without a permit.
A Sioux Falls man charged with a 2020 kidnapping, rape, and murder was back in court Thursday for a possible death penalty case. Amir Baudouin Jr. is accused of kidnapping Pascalina Batty from her place of work. Her body was found the next day in a Lincoln County ditch.
Baudouin was found to be suffering from a mental disease or defect after a court-ordered mental health test. He'll be back in court on April 15th.
Late last night, Sioux Falls police were called to the area of North Spring Avenue between 6th and 7th Street. Our KELOLAND News crew captured this video of the scene.
Police tell us they can't give any information at this time, but say there is no danger to the public. We expect to learn more during today's police briefing, which you can live stream on KELOLAND.com starting at 10:30 this morning.
South Dakota's Department of Corrections has taken ownership of the land where it plans to build a new state prison in Lincoln County. KELOLAND News got a hold of the warranty deed for the two properties. You can see those as well as a map of the parcels in a KELOLAND.com original by Jacob Newton online now.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Good morning, Brian.
All right, good morning. Our weather update here today. Still mild, still above normal, but it looks like changes are coming for the weekend. We are projecting too high fire danger this afternoon for much of north central and northwest South Dakota. Red flag warnings are in effect for Aberdeen, Pierre, and Rapid City. Highs will be in the middle to upper 50s, and we have just enough wind and a lowering humidity forecast that'll all add up to those ingredients across those areas of KELOLAND. That's a quick look at our weather, and we'll explain more about the weekend, all coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Brian. A possible ban on the social media platform TikTok is stirring strong opinions among people in Sioux Falls. On Wednesday, the U.S. House overwhelmingly voted in favor of the ban out of a concern that the Chinese government could gain data access among its users in the United States.
South Dakota State Representative Kaden Whitman of Sioux Falls says she uses TikTok every day on her personal devices only. While she says she understands concerns about the Chinese government getting personal access to personal information.
There's a lot of dark spots in our current society, I think, in our system. And if watching some funny videos at the end of the day is what gets you through, I think people have the choice on if they want to participate in TikTok or not.
Whitman says it's important to protect our data from bad actors, but Congress must also consider how their actions will affect our right to free speech.
Falls Park is one of 20 parks nominated for USA Today's Top 10 Best City Parks in the United States. The Sioux Falls Park features 3 waterfalls, a unique rock formation, and that keeps people returning to the falls.
Terry Schmidt with Experience Sioux Falls says that there are a variety of aspects that sets Falls Park apart from the rest.
So the beauty of the park, the walkability of the park, the interest that's there, they are very interested in the Queen Bee Mill, the ruins, and what is happening to the future of the park.
People can vote once a day for Falls Park until April 8th. We posted that link under this story right here on KELOLAND.com.
Hills Alive is returning to Memorial Park in Rapid City this July for its 39th annual Free Christian Music Festival. But this year, Lifelight is helping host and plan the 2-day festival just weeks before the Sioux Falls Labor Day event.
Earlier this week, Lifelight announced some of the lineup of bands coming to Sioux Falls. And yesterday, they announced We the Kingdom will be Sunday night's headliner at Hills Alive, the band's first ever stop in South Dakota.
We've got a great lineup for 2020 for our 39th annual Hills Alive. Really excited about it. I think I'm most excited about the gospel aspect.
It'll be the same weekend, that same location, same quality with a few little bit of differences. People are going to have to come and experience it for the first time.
You can find a full list of bands included on Sunday's Lifelight Hills Alive lineup with this story on KELOLAND.com.
Exciting news from Huron this morning. Country music superstar Thomas Rhett is coming to South Dakota.
The South Dakota State Fair and South Dakota Department of Agriculture and Natural Resources are welcoming Rhett to the decks in Huron for its grand opening concert on June 13th. Tickets go on sale Friday, March 22nd at 10 a.m. That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, our weather update today. There's that red flag warning in effect for Rapid City, Pierre, and Aberdeen. That means fire danger very high in all of these areas. Sioux Falls, we're starting our day with a little fog, so we're fortunately a little bit better off on humidity, at least in the short term. But I do think even that will tend to decrease as we go into the afternoon, and these clouds will likely disappear. We have highs forecast in the 50s for the vast majority. Middle to upper 50s will be pretty common. The wind numbers, again, strongest in northern South Dakota. Now, tonight, there's a cold front that's going to sneak in and start changing the weather. I'll be interested to see how much recovery we can get early in the day. We could be looking at Sioux Falls with these highs close to or maybe a couple degrees either side of 50. The likelihood that's probably going to be reached in the morning hours. And then after that, we'll probably hold steady or maybe fall off a little bit as that wind strengthens from the northwest. And it'll be running every bit of 20, some gusts close to 40. And then into Sunday, it's actually going to turn colder as we get this little installment of below average temperatures. Now, we're not calling this out as a major cold snap, but, you know, temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s on Sunday, East River especially. Monday, Tuesday, we tend to turn back the other way, and we'll see some good warming in western South Dakota. I'm all in favor of at least 60-degree weather in the Black Hills region. But then changes are going to start happening as the pattern begins to align towards something a little bit more interesting. Gone is the mild Pacific air up in Canada. The replacement cycle is there for colder weather. We shall see how active of a storm track we get, but we're thinking that the signs are building toward that. We've been putting out a few of these maps alluding to the structural changes on the jet stream. But again, there's a lot yet to unpack here, but I do feel that this is now becoming the trend as we wrap up the work week. So all of this would be occurring outside the 7-day forecast. So if you don't want to think about that yet, that's fine with me. If you want to be an early bird and start thinking about how late March can be kind of an interesting time of the year, well, stay tuned. We'll keep you posted here at KELOLAND and have much more to say on that as we go along in these forecasts. Highs tomorrow, 40s, even a few 50s, so still pretty mild even with the wind. I'm expecting that drop on Sunday, though. I'm going to keep Sioux Falls in the upper 30s Sunday afternoon, and also northeast South Dakota will trend quite a few degrees cooler. 50s, near 60 today, actually, in Phillip, and Yankton not far from 60, still well above normal. The 7-day forecast, takeaway number one, there's still not a lot of moisture here. Even with this dip in the temperature, we're not looking at that all the way through early next week. I think we'll probably end the forecast in the 50s in Sioux Falls, and we can start watching the breakdown of that pattern maybe as early as day 7. That could easily switch around a little bit. Aberdeen also looking at those changes by the very end of the 7-day forecast. One other quick note about Aberdeen. It cools, and then as it moderates next week, we are watching that colder air in North Dakota. That's probably going to be pretty stubborn to leave. So there is some degree of variability there for Aberdeen as to how much we're going to recover next week. But given our drier soils and just the conditions we've had this week, I think 50s are still fairly likely. Pierre and Rapid City, even a better chance that we're going to pick back up at least into the 50s, if not even 60-degree weather by early next week. But then after that, that's when we can all start watching the pattern a lot more carefully. Find out a lot more about that subject. We're putting together a special edition of our weather update online at KELOLAND.com.